Good evening, everyone. So, shall we start? First question: how many people are preparing on RC passages? Because exams are approaching now. IIFT is about to take place in a few days, and after that, you'll take CAT, then ZAT, and some of the other exams as well. So, what about your preparations on reading comprehension? Okay. Abhishek says IIFT passages are too long. Parajumbles, all right. Okay, great. Agreed. You need to keep taking mocks. You need to be in a rhythm. You need to be in a flow. But more than that, we also need to ensure that we keep practicing RC passages from rcprep.com. It is a very good link. You'll find good passages there, right? You may try GMAT passages as well, but in order to be good at RC reading comprehension, you need to be in flow, in a certain kind of rhythm. If you're not in flow, you'll definitely struggle with it. Okay, so many people are asking me about parajumbles also. Okay, inferential questions. Krishna will discuss it. Saurabh says, any tips for parajumbles? Now, when we discuss questions on parajumbles, I told you a few the names of a few websites. So have you been practicing from those websites? Have you been doing so? Yes, Shilpa says yes. Shilpa, is it making some improvement? Do you see some improvement? Great. Yes, Rakshit, I will write down, make notes, and all people, please be ready with a pen and a paper, because I'll make you write a few things also. So the first thing, okay, no problem, Shilpa. That's perfectly all right. So what we need to understand first is that these sessions, or any other session for that matter, is not the ultimate tool which will impact your preparation, because at the end of the day, practice is what makes all the difference. It is just like you are with a person and the person is driving and you don't know how to drive, and the person tells you, see, this is how you're going to drive. It is just like that. So it is only when you drive that you actually learn how to drive. So it is all about practice, number one. Yes, I'm doing that. So one thing is quite evident, that we need to keep working hard. We need to practice a lot. Okay, now first you note some websites. Number one is lofoya.com, LOFOYA, yes, .com. Thank you, Shilpa. Oh, she has written all of them for you. Total Gadha, TCY Online, Setking, Vizix starts with W. Yes, Adarsh, these all are for parajumbles. You'll find several questions on these websites. You may take those questions in order to be better prepared on sentence rearrangement. Great. All right. Okay, for reading comprehension, largely it is rcprep.com, and you may try GMAT passages as well, something we discussed earlier. Now, when we talk about RC passage, okay, do we have any people who were not there in the last session? That was on Sunday? Yes, Sukriti says yes. Okay, no problem. So in a nutshell, I'll repeat whatever we discussed that day. Though the session could not last long because of technical issues, as I told you, but we did discuss a point or two. Now, the first important thing when you take a few RC passages, when the RC passages are kept in front of you in form of a paper, the first thing to do is to scan which passages you will attempt. You may decide against attempting all. That's absolutely contextual. We don't know at present whether you will take all passages or not, whether you will attempt all of them or not. So that remains to be seen. However, if you see 6 passages, right, in fact you will see, at least in CAT, you'll see 6 passages, and at first you need to decide which passages will you attempt. So if you think you will attempt all 6, even then you have to be ready with the order, at least for the first 2-3 passages. It should be clear, because if you pick a passage which you are unfamiliar with at the start, it will break the flow, it will break the momentum, it will demoralize you. So learn to take the easier things. You see, we can, in fact, nobody can define easy or difficult. If you're familiar with something, if you know about something, it is easy, and if you do not know, it becomes difficult. So it all depends on your ability to attempt that paragraph and your familiarity with the concept. So if you're familiar enough, attempt it first. Now, okay, once we are done with it, step number 2 has to be identify the keywords generally around which questions are asked. Number 1, facts or stats or figures, right? Number 2, idioms. You may be given certain idioms, so be very sure that around those idioms questions may be asked. Number 3, examples and abbreviations, short forms. So many a times we see questions asked on these areas. So now let's move forward to certain more concepts. Now somebody asked me about inferential questions. Okay, so questions which are based on inference. What do we understand by the term inference? Can anybody answer me? What is an inference? Implied. Okay, implied idea, correct. So Vidika, is it implied, is it definite, or do we infer it? To whom does this inference belong? To the author or to the reader? Who will infer? Okay, great. It is something which is implied, but that implication belongs to the reader. We will infer it. We'll deduce something which is implied. Now there are two basics, two basic tricks rather to solve a question which is based on inference. Well, the trick is simple. Straight away go to the option and start negating options, right? And the elimination of options will be done on 2 bases. Number 1, yes, Shilpa is right, deduction, which is based on facts. So an inference is always based on facts. It will never be based on only an opinion. For example, a boy and a girl together, right? And people say that they are into a relationship. Who knows? They might be strangers, right? So that is not based on facts, right? But if certain thing, if a movement, if a gesture by them, is good enough for the person, for the other people rather, to understand, to deduce, rather to reach the fact, to reach the conclusion that they may be into a relationship, that becomes a fact. So inference will never be based on opinion. It will be based only on facts, something which is given in the paragraph. The other thing is, inferences are never stated directly. So two parameters on which we should assess the options on. One, whether it has been given in the paragraph, in the passage or not. If it has been given, write it off. It can never be the correct answer. Another one, the second parameter is, of course, whether the author has given us enough information about it or not. Whether he or she has given us the data, the facts to deduce it. If the author has given us that much information, it is okay to infer something. But if the information is not there, the answer may go wrong, right? Towards the end of the class, we'll try 1 or 2 questions from these areas also. Anyways, shall we take an RC dear friends? Are we ready? Okay. So let's start the session now, right? First one for you. Okay, some people have done it. I'm still waiting for the others, because reading speed varies. It is also done. A lot of people are done now. How many people are still reading this? Please say reading if you are reading it. Otherwise, I'll move to the next slide. Okay. So we have, okay. Shubham is still reading. So we'll wait for a couple of moments or so. So Shubham, shall we move forward? Don't worry if it takes time. The understanding should be correct. No problem. We'll wait. The understanding should be okay. So shall we move forward? Okay. Before reading the last paragraph, we'll go back to the first page and I'll tell you a trick how to attempt a long paragraph, a long passage. So don't read the last paragraph first, right? Once you're done with the second last one, just let me know. Read till this Selden plan. That's it. So now, dear friends, tell me one thing. Is it easy to read a long passage? Because this seems to be quite a little long passage. Is it easy to understand and read a long passage? Samrita says no. Vinay also denies. Pooja also believes the same. And Shilpa says yes. Okay, that is interesting. But when we talk about, when we discuss a long passage, what trouble does it give you? Why does it trouble you? Okay, Shilpa, I got your point. Yeah, maintaining interest, right? So when do we lose the connection? Somebody says it is quite a task to maintain the connection. Also, when do we lose the connection? Yes, when we tend to forget, right? We tend to forget, something happens to our concentration, or there are several factors. So what should be the trick to attempt these long passages? Somebody at the start of the session said that IIFT passages are a little longer than the ones which are generally seen in other exams. So let's go back to the first paragraph and try to see what can we do about them. Shall we discuss? Yes. Okay. See, here is the first paragraph. Don't do anything special. Once you're done with it, in one word or two, maybe three, write down the central idea that you have understood from this paragraph. Then we'll discuss it. Come on. Okay. Correct. All right. Shubham says his introduction. Okay. Anybody else? It tells us clearly about the interest of this man, isn't it? Right? It tells us about Asimov's maybe influence and his thought also, right? His opinion also, because it clearly reads Asimov was influential both in science fiction and in the popularization of science during the 20th century, but he's also justly famous for the scope of his interests. So one thing is for sure, that the first paragraph is about this man, right? So yes, absolutely. So whatever you've written, right, is mostly correct. Now you need to develop that art and how to express it in a word or two according to your own understanding, not in accordance with what I understand, right? Because at the end of the day, when you take such a paragraph in an exam, right, it will be you who has to make those notes. So that is the trick to attempt these long passages. Otherwise they become very monotonous and very troublesome also. Now let's read the second paragraph and you make notes again, the one which is starting with foundation. Shall we move to the next slide, dear friends? Yes. Okay. All right, Ronnie, we are waiting. Read it. Ronnie says no. Okay. So we are moving to the next. Try the same thing. Write what did you understand. Okay, Jayant. All right. Does this paragraph largely talk about his book? Yes. Agreed. Great. Correct. And some comparison also. So you'll make a note. Now you'll move to the next paragraph and then tell me whether the flow broke or not. Read the next one now. Shall we move to the next slide? Okay. Once again, the same exercise. Once you're done with it, write the central idea. We'll discuss this paragraph, then move to the last one. Write the central idea first for the second last one. Correct. So have we read this? Yes, it talks about evolution. Correct. All right. So we've got an idea. What is the paragraph about? Now what happens is, had we not written, most of us would have probably forgotten what did the writer say in the first paragraph. Now, is this process time consuming? Is it taking a lot of time? Because when we discuss this trick, people say that it is time consuming. In the process you waste a lot of time. But then, it saves a lot of time actually. Because if I do not remember what was said at the start, I'll have to go back to that area. So that will trouble me a great deal. Let's read the last paragraph now and see what we can understand. Correct. When we discuss a passage, there is one general idea which remains intact throughout the passage, and I guess all of us have been able to catch it. As far as interpretation is concerned, my interpretation may be different from yours. So in order, my manner to link the paragraph, the information given with the central idea may be different from yours. That is why, yes, Shilpa, it is a very interesting passage. That is why I always suggest my students to, use this trick. Now you have not lost the flow of the passage. Now shall we go to the questions? Okay. Abhishek, it is a little tricky. I won't say it is a very difficult one, but if we train you on easier passages, it won't serve any purpose. We need to prepare you on very difficult ones actually, because if you're prepared on easier ones and you come across different rather difficult passages, complicated passages in the exam, then you'll be done a disservice to by us. So that we don't want to allow to happen, right? You will be allowed to regress, Abhishek. You will be. So shall we see the questions? Great. First question, and the answer is pretty simple. I think you all should be able to gauge it. Come on. 4. Great. Great. Why do people think it should be option 4? Any reason? Piyush says no idea. Very soon you'll have an idea, Sarji. Okay. Great. Shall we move to the first paragraph? Just give me 2 minutes. We'll go back to paragraph 1. Read it, dear friends. Maybe we can find the answer here. The first few lines tells about his belief. Correct? Okay. So now you made notes, right? And you never lost the zeal, rather the gist, the soul of the passage, it remained with you. So let's move to question number 2. Shall we move to the next question? Are we prepared for it? Great. Question number 2. Shilpa, I'm so sorry, I've moved to the next question. Could you please remind me of this towards the end of the session? We'll take your doubts, right? Thank you. What could be the purpose of the final paragraph? Say a key theme of Asimov's Foundation series is described and discoveries in science that seem contrary to the theme are outlined. This is exactly what most of you told me about the last paragraph. Do you remember that? Right? Is it so? This is what you told me. So this is the answer. You had already gauged the idea. You had already understood the paragraph. So this is how we try to understand the questions. If we can understand the context, if we've been able to catch that crux, the essence, we'll be able to answer questions. It won't be a problem. But if the understanding has holes, then we will struggle with it. Okay, so shall we look at the next question? Alright, so here we go, my dear friends. Try the third one. It is simple. Great. All of you are correct. It should be option 2. Yes, Abhishek, it was a relatively easier one. So shall we move to the next question? Question number 4. Okay, here we go, my dear friends. Right. I will, Piyush, will definitely discuss it. Shilpa says either third or the fourth one. Some people say it should be the second one. Okay, little ambiguous. Okay, no problem. Take your time. Great. Now the question is, with respect to the Selden plan, the author's attitude can most probably, rather properly be described as. Let's consider every option. 1. Is he amused at the naive conception of history it implies? Probably not, right? Do you want to see the paragraph again? Okay. No problem at all. No problem, dear friends. We'll go back to the paragraph. Which one was it? Was it the last one? Yeah. Here we go. The second one. Read it. We'll discuss it, Abhishek. Keep your doubts towards the end. For the last 10-15 minutes, we'll discuss them. Don't worry about the time you're taking here. It will improve. The understanding should be correct. So we are moving to the next slide. Are we? The answer is not difficult at all, dear Jayant. Should be option 4. Explicit means something which is clear, which is evident. Okay, so here we go. Question number 1. This is 2, 3, and 4. Now read it. The author talks about Asimov and his attitude towards science, right? And he also believes, in fact, we can infer, that he is convinced that attitude is being illustrated properly. He talks about it on many occasions. Specifically, when we talk about the second paragraph and when we go towards the end of the second paragraph, it is quite linked, and this is what you told me about the second paragraph also. Do we remember it? This is exactly what we mentioned. Yes, what you people mentioned, I didn't impose it on you. You people mentioned it when you had scanned the paragraph, when you had read the paragraph. So is it clear? So are we moving to the next question now? Great. Okay. Next one. Many people think it should be option 2 or option 1. We don't know as of now. Okay. Take your time. Take your time. I'm waiting for the others. The passage tells us. It tells us about the chaos theory, that perfect prediction could take place only on the basis of perfect information. So if we go by that logic, I guess option 1 makes sense. Does it? Do we think so? Right? Yes. Okay, let's read option 2 now. Many people are a little confused about option 2. Efforts to predict the result of a nuclear reaction fail because of intermittency inherent in the behavior of subatomic particles. Do we think this could be the answer, dear friends? How many people think this should be the answer? Tell me the reason, and the people who believe that this should not be, also tell you reason. Let's analyze this. Okay, may I know the reason, Kiran? Great. So all different kinds of answers, and I've got the right answer also. If we look at option 2, it reads, efforts to predict the result of a nuclear reaction fail because of indeterminacy, right, inherent in the behavior of subatomic particles. So it is not complete information, and butterfly effect has been expressed by the author as a chaos theory. He clearly suggests that a perfect prediction, correct prediction, is based only on correct information also. So it is going contrary to it, right? So, okay, option 4. Scientific predictions about the future course of human history are found to be reasonably accurate once existing social theories are reconciled. I think it goes beyond the context. What do we think? Could 4th be the correct answer? Okay, many people are giving their response. Great. So if we look at the 4th one, got it? Great. Alright, so shall we move to the next question? We still have at least 2 more passages, 2 to 3 more passages that we need to attempt. Anyways, I guess we are still left with some questions based on this paragraph. No, we don't have any. Next, so keep making notes, dear friends. The answer was, I'm so sorry, dear friends. Yes, which was the best choice? Second one or the first one? Which one did we opt for? The first one, definitely. Yes, first one. Correct. So here we go. The next one. Read up to this some commentators, then make notes. Have we read up to this? Some commentators have rejected this position. Okay, Shilpa says it is morality and law obedience, not hand in hand always. Shall we move to the next slide? No. Okay. Make notes, dear friends. This will help you. Okay. No problem. I'm still waiting. Finish this off and let me know. Now shall we continue? Okay. Great. Read up to subjects. The end of this paragraph. Then mark what all you've understood. Okay, Shilpa. So come up with your central idea. What all did you understand? Don't worry. We are not moving ahead. I just want the people who are through with it to write what all did they understand. So have all of us read up to this subjects? The end of this paragraph? Have we? Alright. Many people say yes. Okay. So Samruddha, have you read? Shall we continue? Shubham also says yes. Samruddha also says yes. Alright. Very good. Now read the next paragraph. The one which starts with some. Keep taking notes. Keep making notes rather. And keep them to yourselves, So on the basis of your notes, we shall discuss the questions. Shall we move to the next slide, dear friends? Okay. Great. Many people have done it. Just maintain what all you've understood from this reading. So there, are you through? We are waiting for you, dear. Done. So shall we move to the next? Great. Okay. Now the first question, but before we get to questions, my question to you: have we been able to understand the paragraph, and especially the last one, where we see a lot of these conjunctions, moreover and thus? What do they suggest us? Come on, somebody asked me about tone also. A friend of mine asked how to gauge the tone, or how to maintain the tone, or an understanding of the tone of the author. Okay, it may be analytical, it may be supportive, it may be anything. My question is, which are the conjunctions which make the difference? What does this moreover tell you? Okay, I'll ask a question, a very simple question. I say that the students whom I am teaching right now are outstanding, right? The second line reads, moreover, they are talented. What does this mean? The tone, the idea will extend. Is it so? Many people have said the same thing. Absolutely correct. And when I say a line that starts with but, what do I mean, right? The tone will change, the idea will change. Absolutely. So it will be some kind of contradiction. So when we talk about conjunctions, they make a great deal of difference to the tone an author has used. Now, conjunctions like but, however, although, despite, on the opposite, contrarily, on the other hand, they all suggest that the author will change the idea. On the opposite, rather, quote unquote, when we say moreover, further, and also, thus, therefore, they all will extend the same idea. So I hope you have been able to gauge this. So let's move to question first. Yes, take a look at the options. Nice question, Abhishek. You're right. So let us also know your thought process. Mine, Abhishek, I couldn't gauge your question, dear. Okay, all right. Okay, so yes, flow, correct. So do we all believe option 4 is the right answer? Yes, that is because we have been able to gauge this option while understanding the paragraph. Somebody says it should be third option. Hitesh believes it should be the third one, and Hriday also thinks in the same manner. Do we think it should be the third option? Come on, dear friends. Why Shilpa? You say no to selection of option 3 as the right answer. Why is that so? Monica, on the other hand, believes it should be option 3. Okay. Now let's read both options. Which one of the following most accurately expresses the main point of the passage? That means the central idea, right? It is absolutely the central idea that is required here. Option 3 reads, it does not follow logically from philosophical anarchism that no government is morally better than any other, or that people have no moral duties toward one another. Toward is American English, towards is UK, mind you. Next one. Even if, as certain philosophical anarchists claim, governmental laws lack moral force, still have a moral obligation to refrain from harming one another. They are contrary to each other. Option 3 runs contrary to what the author believes. If we've been able to gauge the central idea, then we would know that option 4 is what he is suggesting. Yes, perfect option is option 4. It is on the basis of an overall reading. Okay, shall we move forward? Let's look at the next one now. Yes, question number 7. Take your time. How did we deduce this, option 1 as being the correct answer? Most of you have opted for the same. Any basis? It's been stated, and this is exactly what the author wants to express, that in most cases we are morally obligated to obey the law simply because it is the law. That's it. Option 3 reads, we are morally bound to obey only those laws we participate in establishing. Could this be the correct answer? I got it, Abhishek. You're absolutely right. Now, the third one cannot be the correct answer. If we refer to the first paragraph, it has been directly mentioned. So, shall we look at the next question now? Correct. Establishment goes beyond context, dear friends. Okay, so we are reading the 8th one now. Alright. So, shall we discuss these two options now? which you've picked 1 and 2. The first option reads ardent approval. What is ardent? Firm, right? That ardent is actually passionate, so that he's passionately approving of most aspects of the theory. Now, is it true of the paragraph of the author rather that he has approved of most aspects of the theory? Is it so, Shilpa? Correct, he does. But is he approving of most aspects of the theory? Probably not. What do we say? I may also be wrong. Yes, it is guarded approval, and he is not approving of most aspects. Agreed. But is he approving of most aspects? That is my problem. And when you look at the second option, apparent acceptance of some of the basic positions, the first one is getting a little extreme. Second is more generic, more acceptable, isn't it? Because most means majority. Then he might have listed this I agree with, this I do not. Yes, Shilpa, why not? Somebody asks me, hesitant rejection of some of the central features of the theory. Okay, hesitant, that he is hesitant. He does not want to reject it. Okay, we'll discuss that also. Which area do you want me to refer to, Shilpa? Which paragraph, dear? Is it okay? This slide, okay? Read it once. Take your time. Don't worry. Don't be in a hurry. Okay? So shall we discuss this? Let's take one question at one time, dear friends. I'll definitely answer your question in a little while. Okay. Shilpa now writes, but why can't I say he is not supporting the facts? Most facts rather. And Hriday replies, because he says individuals still have. So now shall we go back to the question? Okay. Now tell me, dear friends, if he has ardently approved of most aspects of the theory, which are those aspects that he has approved of ardently? Passionately. Tell me, ardent is too huge a word, don't you think so? Ardent is passionate and most. Correct. Moral ground of anarchism. Anything else? Has he ever mentioned different aspects of the theory, and has he said that all aspects are great, or has he supported with a lot of enthusiasm? Definitely not. There are two words which are making this answer a little, this option a little difficult to take. One is the word ardent, the strongest one, and maybe most aspects, because whenever you have a choice like most, especially when you discuss a theory, how many aspects can the author discuss in say a span of just 1 or 2 paragraphs, or 3 paragraphs, or 4 paragraphs at the most? Theories are very deep. They run very, very deep, deeper than we think they do. So what happens is, it is practically impossible for any author to deal with most aspects of a theory, right, in just 3 to 4 paragraphs. Thus, he has to be very selective. And if he decides to mention all those theories, then he cannot be, he cannot discuss the details, the intricacies regarding those theories. So, be very careful while selecting any answer. Go by the words, right? Don't ignore words. That is pleasure. And somebody asked me about the tone. What kind of tone do we think, that the author has used? Is he analyzing something, or is he critical? Is he supportive? Is he laudatory? Laudatory is somebody who praises a lot. Critical is somebody who discusses strengths and weaknesses, who is careful, right? And analytical is somebody who just analyzes that this is good, then this, then this, then this is also there. So what kind of tone is it? No, it is definitely not neutral. Yes, come on. I guess it is analytical, because he's analyzing. Because he has not, he has not mentioned much about, how this philosophical anarchism can go wrong. Anyways, we are on question number 9. We are running short of time, dear friends. Come on, let's try this one. Jen, did you miss out? Okay, we'll get back to the question. Second, option 2. To question number 8. 9th we're still discussing. Okay, option 3 or 1. Let's see. Okay, great. Now the question reads, by attributing to commentators the view that philosophical anarchism has implications that are counterintuitive, the author most likely means the commentators believe that which one, dear friends? The first one, the implications conflict with some commonly held beliefs. Actually, if you leave the first option, all the other options will take you in a different direction. So the first has to be the correct choice. Any doubt regarding any other option, dear friends? Fourth, the implications appear to be incompatible with each other. No, definitely not. I guess it is going beyond the context, isn't it? Right? The only option which is within the scope of the given information is option 1. So shall we look at the next one? I want you to try another one. Great. Yes, that is unreasonable. Absolutely correct. The 10th one. Sachin wants me to show him the third paragraph. Alright, Sachin, just give me 2 minutes. This is the one that you're talking about, Sachin? Read it. Take your time. Don't worry. The understanding should be correct. Yes, moral duties towards others, even if it is not law. Can we go to the question now? Okay, Sachin. Thank you very much. This was the one. Yes. So I guess it is quite clear to everybody, is it? It is a straightforward question. It is not so difficult. Shall we move to the next? Great. Now this is an inference-based question. Be a little careful with it. Okay. That is interesting. Why not the first one? Okay. Now some people believe it could be the first one. No problems. Okay. Shilpa, can you take me to the lines where this option 3 has been stated? Where did you see it? Which paragraph? Last paragraph. So shall we read it again? Okay, no problem, no problem. Shall we read it? I'll find it for you. Alright. Let's move back to solve the question. Do we see anything of that sort which has been mentioned here? Read this line, dear friends. Moreover, philosophical anarchists. Read this line and try to understand it. Then tell me, what does it mean? So have we gone through it? It reads, moreover, philosophical anarchists hold that people have a positive moral obligation to care for one another. That means it is a moral duty of people, right? A moral obligation that they might even choose to discharge by supporting cooperative efforts by the governments to help those in need. Now this is clear, right? Yes, I got your point, Shilpa. To help government in their efforts, moral duty. Okay, let's move to the question now, if you can find something relevant. 11th question. It can be inferred that the author would be most likely to agree that. Read option 2 now. Governments that are, rather option 3, I'm extremely sorry for that. One may have good reason to support the efforts of one's government, even if one has no moral duty to obey its laws. Now what is that reason? Let's go back to the area. Philosophical anarchists hold that people have a positive moral obligation to care for one another. This positive moral obligation, a moral obligation that they might even choose to discharge by supporting cooperative efforts by governments to help those in need, right? So it is a positive moral obligation. And the question reads, rather the option reads, one may have good reason to support the efforts of one's government. So this is that positive moral obligation which will be a good reason to support the government or whatever the government has done for the people. Now if we look at the first option, people are subjected to more moral obligation than is generally held to be the case. I think this has been stated directly. This cannot be the inference. Somebody asks me about option 4 also. We're a little short of time. There are some sound arguments for claiming that most governments have a moral right to require obedience to their laws. I think it is going a little, in a different direction. It is taking us different from the passage. Do we think so? It is going beyond context, right? It is taking us in a different direction altogether, so we won't like to discuss that. Anyways, last question maybe for today. We'll try to discuss another question or two if possible, but at least the last one. At least this has to be done. Do we remember paragraph 4? What was written there? The first 2 lines of paragraph 4 are about this very thing. In that situation, option 4 is the best choice. So is it clear to everyone? Yes. The next one should be pretty simple. Just you'll have to get in touch with me personally for these. Maybe you can take my email ID and write to me. I'll provide all the possible material, whatever will help you. Quite easy. Yes, it is not a difficult question at all. Vikas, Vikas, Pahawa 123@gmail.com. Yes. No, it is not Pahawa, it is Pahawa. P for play. Yeah, Shilpa has got it right. Okay, anyways, option 1, 2, 3, 4. What is our take? Option, come on. Right. 4. Why should it be the fourth one? In the last 2-3 paragraphs, the author defends this very theory. He mentions that what the critics say and how it is not okay. And read the last 2 paragraphs. That's it. You'll find the answer, dear friend. So, anyways, let's see if we have another question from the same passage. No, not at all. We don't have any more, and we don't have time either to go to the next paragraph. Okay, so now some of your questions. Come on, I'm waiting for your doubts. General questions. What all is troubling you, if there are any? How to identify the tone? The tone is, the art of identifying the tone is not very difficult. You just need to be aware of what kind of tone it is, or the different kinds of tone. There are several kinds of tone. Laudatory, if the author is only praising something, if he is highlighting weaknesses as well as the strengths, then is critical of something, right? He may be analytical, just like we had discussed a paragraph also. So the best manner is to be conscious of what kind of tones do we generally get, and practice is the key. I don't know how many people take different questions, but when you take questions from rcprep.com or any other website for that matter, you should know, you should do an analysis of the questions. We all should know which questions went right, which did not. Now I have given you my email ID also. You can write to our official website also. You have several other options. I'm quite sure there'll be people who train you also. So try to find out which questions are getting right or which questions are getting wrong. Now there are certain things which only this 5-10 minute discussion may not be able to address. This extensive details and the intricacies of different tones is one of them, but the general idea is to be conscious and practice as much as possible. Rohit reads, so what should be our marks for a good percentile? That varies. Kindly ask questions which are related to your course so that we do not waste time. You should be asking tips how to be better at questions at the exam. Shilpa reads, first question, option 3. Okay, Shilpa, I'll get back to that. Meanwhile, do we have strategy for IIFT long RC passages? Okay, it is not difficult at all. When we discuss the long passages, just ensure that you keep writing what all you understand from every paragraph, because if we do not write, we all are humans, we'll forget it. We are bound to forget, right? So that will break the flow, and that breaking of the momentum will be lethal to your understanding. It will impact your interest in a very negative manner as well. So once we start to missing out on ideas or losing out on ideas, we tend to lose our interest also. So interest needs to be maintained. Piyush now asks how to infer meanings with poor vocab. Interesting question. Now when we talk about word meanings, number 1, you do not need to necessarily know the answer to every word, the meaning of every word. You're reading a paragraph, you're not reading a word, right? Agreed, vocab plays a great part, but even if you do not know the meaning, don't get bogged down, don't get tensed because of this. Believe in yourself, try to gauge the meaning from the context. and from the tone also. For example, if I say that all the students whom I am discussing with at present are great, they're brilliant, and they're enthralling. So, look at the tone now. Great, right? Outstanding. Then I say enthralling. You got to know that enthralling means something good. Further, if I reverse the tone, I rather than using and, I use but, then it has got to mean something negative. Although enthralling is a very positive word, which means something who's bright, who looks good, attractive, all that, right? So this is how to try and gauge word meanings. And even if you do not know the meaning of a word, don't worry, you need to understand the meaning of the passage or the paragraph. That's it, not every word. How to solve misfit sentences from paragraphs? It is according to the theme. If you get the theme wrong, then you will definitely get the answer wrong as well. If you catch the theme, you'll definitely be able to answer the question in the correct manner. You're welcome, Piyush. So let's discuss a question. Shilpa, was it question 1? Which paragraph? Was it the first RC passage? Okay. Give me 2 minutes, dear. Let me go back to passage 1. So this was the first passage, if I'm correct. And which question, dear? First question. Okay, which was about the central idea. Yes, tell me your doubt, dear. Write it here, I'm still waiting. Option 3. Okay. Popularization of science is always, to some degree, dependent idealizations and simplifications of that science, as Isaac Asimov's works demonstrates. All right. Shilpa, are you there? I guess she's left the session. Are you there, Shilpa? Okay. So, read the first paragraph. Tell me, what did you understand from it? Influence, interest, and science. Okay. So now we are moving to the questions. Which one of the following most accurately expresses the main point of the passage? Okay. You're saying option 2, right? Popularization of science is always, to some degree, dependent idealizations and simplifications of that science. And look at option 4. Agreed. Isaac Asimov's idealization of sciences as revealed in his Foundation series was called into question by the science of his own time, which was increasingly focused on chaos and indeterminacy. Sorry, Shilpa, doubt in. Is it the question 3rd or the option 3rd? Okay, you have a doubt with option 3 and 4. I'm extremely sorry, dear friend. All right. So let's read option 3 now. The impossibility of the conceit on which his Foundation trilogy is based demonstrates that his fiction was based on imperfect understandings of science. Can you take me to the lines which, or give me a rough idea? Where do we find this answer? Why are you so confused about this question? I mean, what troubles you on this question, obviously? No? Okay. Because, okay, what does it mean? Tell me, what does the option mean? Okay. The impossibility of the conceit. Now, what is conceit, dear friends? Last few words. Okay. Okay. The impossibility of the conceit on which his Foundation trilogy is based demonstrates that his fiction was based on imperfect understandings of science. Now, do we actually believe that it was his imperfect understandings of science? What do we understand by the terms imperfect understandings? Do we think so? And look at the fourth option. Yes, was his understanding imperfect, but which is not correct. Look at the fourth option. His idealization of sciences as revealed in Foundation series was called into question by the science of his own time, which was increasingly focused on chaos and indeterminacy. Now, when I say that something is indeterminable, that means its character, that it cannot be determined. On the other hand, when I say that it is my imperfect understanding, that means I have interpreted it in a wrong manner. Great. All right. I'm extremely sorry, dear friends. That's my pleasure, dear. I am not being able to take all your questions because of shortage of time. We are almost done with it. So what you do is, I've already told you my email ID. You know about Hitbullseye also, right? Keep writing to us. You may write at feedback@hitbullseye.com. Yes, Akshay, it will be uploaded. It will be uploaded on YouTube. You want me to tell you the names of certain important websites? Shilpa has already told you about those sentence rearrangement ones, right? They will word lists will help you. Extremely sorry, Piyush, we don't have time, but please take a note of these websites, and as soon as you find any problem, you can write to us, you can come to us, you can meet us the way you like, the way you are comfortable. We are always there to help you, right? Thank you very much. Lovely being with you. Hope to see you again. Thank you.